Now, I want you to join me in welcoming Dr. Stephen Salloway, who is the Director of Neurology and Memory and Aging Program, and I think Mary really gave you all his titles, but importantly, Steve, I've come to know, is really a very strong clinician. He understands how to take care of patients. He understands all the interactions that go on with Alzheimer's disease, so he's truly a tremendous clinician, and it's only unmatched by the level of his research expertise. So, Steve.
Thank you, Mary and Jim. What a day. It was really hard to sleep last night. I was so excited for the events that are unfolding. Today, we're making history. We're opening a new era in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease. This is a turning point. It's just the beginning, and it can't come too soon. Alzheimer's is the epidemic within the pandemic, and it's something we have to address. As a result of this treatment, as you heard, the first approved in 18 years, the first that targets a core component of the disease, the amyloid plaques, it's transforming already, before we've even given the first infusion. It's transforming how we treat Alzheimer's. We're diagnosing earlier. We're using specific tests that make an accurate diagnosis. My goal has always been to bring Alzheimer's into the world of modern medicine, where where people come in for an early and accurate diagnosis and have treatments that affect the course of the disease and try to delay it and modify it and prevent it. And I think today we start on that journey. This is just the beginning. We need to build on this. Our immediate goal is to make this treatment available to patients who may benefit, like Mark, and I'm going to talk a little bit about him and about you in a minute. And the courage that and the generosity that you and so many others represent. Our first goal is to plan, and we're actively planning, and Mary is doing a super job leading our team here, so it shows you the commitment to Butler Hospital. The president of the hospital is hands-on, making this treatment available to patients. It's always, it's always been our goal to develop treatment breakthroughs and to make them available to people. And Mary has been behind that from the beginning, and as she told you, she was part of our team doing house calls in the early days of the program. So she knows what, and Jim does too, as a geriatrician. They know what Alzheimer's is. For those of you who don't know, it's a devastating disease. There are currently no treatments that really affect the long-term course of the disease. This is the first one that opens that door. It gives us a biological foothold that we can build on. I know there's controversy about this approval. I think the FDA took a very forward-thinking position to make this treatment available, to have access for patients under accelerated approval. They're also requiring that further data be generated. And the goal is to build on this. This is the first in the class. We hope that there'll be many others, and hopefully even better than this one, and many classes of drugs that we can combine to treat Alzheimer's. I think the main goals going forward, one, to make this treatment available and to do it in a streamlined manner, in an equitable manner. And the next is to move forward with research in prevention and combination treatments. It's not going to be one treatment that's going to take care of Alzheimer's disease. And in developing blood tests that can diagnose Alzheimer's early that will be widely available and cost-effective. Let me share my most important message today, and that's to thank the people that made this possible. I'm going to start and build up. So I'm going to thank Mary and Jim and the leadership of Brown University. Brown is all in behind Alzheimer's research, as are Mary and Jim. Thank you for your unwavering support. This is a devastating disease, and we need to make progress. We're very excited about the new Brown Center for Alzheimer's Research. I think we hopefully will contribute to the discoveries and future advances like today. I want to thank the Memory and Aging Program staff who have been very dedicated, very loving in their care, and compassionate, and have really kept the program alive and growing, especially during COVID, showing up every day, putting themselves out, and keeping research moving forward for Alzheimer's while we faced the greatest health crisis of our era. But most importantly, I want to thank the thousands of study volunteers, participants like Mark Archambault, who received the first dose of this medicine, who stepped forward and put themselves on the line. And mostly, they wanted to protect their children and their grandchildren from developing Alzheimer's disease. And I just can't say enough good things about their contribution. I'm so excited that they have made today possible. They're the real heroes of today's story. So just a little bit about Mark, and then he's going to get up and give a few remarks, and then we'll have opportunity for questions and answers. Mark actually tried out for aducanumab twice, but he flunked because he did too well on his memory tests. We knew he had Alzheimer's, and he was building up amyloid plaques in the brain and had an increased genetic risk for Alzheimer's. But the aducanumab trials required you have a certain score on memory tests, and twice he tried, but he did too well. And so we're glad now you're eligible. It's available to you. But Mark contributed in other ways. He actually helped make the approval of amyloid PET scanning, which is integral to this advance possible. He participated in a trial of amyloid PET. He found out that he was building up plaques in the brain, but that helped lead to FDA approval, which is great. Thank you so much for that. And he participated in a clinical trial of another medicine, a pill called a BACE inhibitor, to lower amyloid in a different way. And thank you for participating in that. That medicine did not move forward. It had side effects, and there wasn't clear efficacy. And so that study stopped. But it's that type of courage, that generosity. Rhode Islanders really played an outsized role in this approval. I think we had close to 100 people in Rhode Island participating in aducanumab trials. That's a very large number for a small state. So we really played a very active role, and I feel very fortunate to be, this has been a long journey with many drugs, many trials, over 100 trials for Alzheimer's. We've been working on this drug, aducanumab, since 2013. Melanie Faust here in the front was the coordinator, she's now a nurse practitioner, but she got an upgrade. But she was the coordinator both here in Rhode Island Hospital when we did our first, the phase 1B trial. So we've been involved right from the beginning. And I know a lot about the medicine, a lot about the side effects, and I want to help our colleagues around the world roll this out safely. It's very, very important that we do this carefully. So Mark, thank you so much for being willing to share your story, not only coming forward and being the first patient and participating in so much research here in the Memory and Aging program, but being willing to share your story and being such a strong advocate for Alzheimer's at the State House and so many venues through the and I want to thank the Alzheimer's Association. The Alzheimer's Association has been a terrific advocate for patients, for better treatment, for approval of this drug, and they're all in to advance the treatment of Alzheimer's disease. And Mark has worked closely with the Alzheimer's Association here in Rhode Island. We have a great chapter here, and we're working very closely with them on other research, on prevention research currently. And so the future looks really good. This is a terrible disease. This is the beginning, and we're opening a new era of treatment